What is up, Ryuji here, and what we're gonna do today is I'm gonna react to some of your Instagram comments. Now, the reason I want to do this is because ever since I've started Peas by Vegan, I've always made it a point to engage with you. I love hearing your feedback. I love reading your comments. I love knowing what you think. That's what allows me to make more content and ultimately, try to provide you more value. But what I want to do here is try to take that to the next level where I'm not just responding with, a little text, but I actually want to talk about this, and hopefully we can start having a conversation about this. So we're going to go into some good comments, some bad comments. It's going to be fun, it's going to be not as fun. Hopefully the entire thing is going to be fun. So let's dive right into it. The first comment, I want to start off with a positive note, and actually an important note, is from Viva Global Rescue. Now, this comment was on my post talking about what to do if you find an injured animal, but you don't know what to do if you're not a pro animal rescuer like I am not, so I have no idea what to do in these situations. But these guys, they're amazing. They're actually in California, they're my good friends, and they've personally helped me out in emergency situations. I've called them being like, what do I do? I have an animal, I don't know what to do, and they walk me through the entire process. So they're amazing, but they gave their 2 cents because they obviously know better than me. So what they said was, here are some tips from an animal rescue. If you are in the US, you can call our hotline at 612-207-2202. We can do our best to find resources in your area to help. If you are in SoCal and have wildlife you need help with, you can always call CA Wildlife, who's amazing and take an all native to California species. If you ever see a dead opossum, please check their pouch with gloves on for babies, as babies will often be in the pouch. I actually had no idea about this, so this is amazing. You can take the whole mom and babies to the wildlife center and not remove the babies from the dead mom. They'll live for a few hours in her pouch, but get to a wildlife center urgently. And again, reach out to any local animal rescues and see if they have any suggestions, or just call our hotline. So it was amazing. There's actually a second comment to that. So instead of saying irrelevant things myself, I'm just going to read this. More notes. Try not to handle wildlife. Don't try rehabbing wildlife yourself, as it's not only illegal, but also dangerous. If you can get a professional on the scene ASAP, that's best so you don't need to handle the animal. Call your local shelter and ask them if they often euthanize wild animals or if they have a wildlife rehabber list of people they call to take animals. So these are just amazing tips. I don't even have anything to add here, but just, thank you, Viva Global Rescue. That's awesome tips. And definitely follow them on Instagram and, support them if you can. Like I said, they've supported me. They're awesome. They do amazing work. I love them. They're my dear friends. So, definitely consider supporting them. They're an organization that I give a thumbs up to, whatever that means to you. All right, so second comment that I want to talk about is actually not even my comment. I know I said I'd react to the comments on my content, but this was just so funny that I just want to talk about it. And this is a comment, I'm trying to find it here. This is a comment by my friend Hudson. You probably know Hudson Tarlow. He's kind of like my little brother, because whatever. Anyways. That just sounds so demeaning. That's not what I mean at all. I love him like a little brother. That's what I mean. And little because he's just younger than me. Okay, anyways, he's amazing. And I just saw this comment and I thought it was so funny. I miss him dearly because he just went on tour with Anonymous for the Voiceless. I don't know when I'm going to see him next. So if you're watching this, Hudson, which you're not, but whatever, I love you. And yeah, so someone posted on one of his posts, stop pushing your beliefs onto everyone. They can do what they want. If you do this shit to me, I'm gonna shove a burger in your face. And Hudson says, thanks for the insight, man. Regardless of the approach, what do you think about killing animals for sandwiches? I just think that's so brilliant, and it's so to the point. What I love so much about this response is that Hudson is not getting emotional about it. I think what we're going to understand is that when people leave these types of comments, first of all, they're doing it from a very angry, emotional place. That's not a healthy place to be in. Okay, one thing that's one of the people I look up to a lot, Gary Vee, says with regards to negative comments is, think about the place that people have to be in their lives to leave a negative comment on your post after consuming your post. I mean, it's unbelievable. Can you believe being in that space? Maybe you can't, I don't know. But the point is, you shouldn't, you should find that just unbelievable. It's I could never imagine that. Right? I can't imagine just seeing what someone else is doing. Even if I don't like it, I'm not going to take the time to just spew negativity on their post. I mean, that's just, they're just not in a good mind space, if that's even a word. But the point is, I think what can often happen is that we get provoked by that, right? In that case, just no one wins. We don't win, they don't win, the animals don't win. I mean, it's just like, there's no point in taking in that comment and just lulling it over and over. Do you say that, lulling it? I don't think you say that. You get the point, playing it over and over again in your head. Like, I'm just making up words here. I think words don't matter as much. Okay, like you understand what I'm saying, right? That makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So, anyways, like I was saying, it doesn't serve you to just play the comments over and over again in your head, thinking, how do I respond? Maybe I should say this. Oh, I'm gonna tell them the truth. You know what? I'm gonna tell them what a horrible person they are. And it's like, you can do that if you want, but I think the place that, well, maybe you shouldn't do that, I don't know. But the point is, I think the place that most people do that from is a place of reaction. You're emotionally reacting to that comment, and I don't think that's healthy. I don't think that's helpful for you. It's just that's not something I want to spend my time doing. And what Hudson does beautifully here is that he just shows that he doesn't care. He's not emotionally invested in the conversation, and he probably took like 2 seconds to write this comment, right? He was like, thanks for the insight, acknowledging what he said, just like not caring, and then being like, regardless of the approach, and asking the real question, what do you think about killing animals for sandwiches? That's what this is about. Because one thing that we shouldn't get caught up in is people not being happy with our approach. I talked about this in the previous video where this girl told me, well, I don't like how my friends approach me, but I like how you approach me because you're a chill vegan. And I don't think we should get caught up in that because it's not about that. Like, people just make things too much about how they feel. And I guess this is the byproduct of living in a humanist society. I learned all about that in the book Homo Deus by Yuval Noah Harari. It's an amazing book. The sequel to Sapiens, which is the book that turned me vegan, but that's a tangent. But the point is, in a humanist society, the way that we make decisions as humans is, how does it feel for me? And that is how everything works. You can read the book if you want to learn more about that. But the point is, sometimes you'll talk to people and you'll ask them these questions like, what do you think? Like, how do you morally justify paying for animals to be killed? And that's a very reasonable question. If you think about it logically, it's a very, very reasonable question. How do you justify paying for animal abuse? That is such a reasonable question to ask. But that being the case, how do people respond? I don't like how you make me feel. You know what, by approaching me that way, I might be open to what you have to say, but it rubs me the wrong way. You don't make me feel good. You're pushing me away. And people try to make you feel bad, right? And if we get caught up in that, then we'll just lose. I don't think it's wise to get caught up in that. Listen, people are not going to be happy with you, whatever you do. One thing that, I can't remember who said this, but someone said once at some point, regardless of what you do in life, people are not going to like you. You're going to get haters regardless. So why not choose what you get hated for? And then you can just be free, right? So if we're going to be hated for defending innocent animals, then that's fine. What am I going to do about that? Whatever. Even if I was on the other side. Look, if I was on the side of people who are trying to defend animal abuse, I'd also have people hating me, right? Me. Like, I'd be hating me in that situation. Whatever. But the point is, you're going to get haters regardless. So, if you want to defend animals and get hated for that, that's fine. I just went off on a huge tangent. Just talk about this Hudson's comments. But the point is, he just calmly just asked the real question. I don't even think he checked back after. They probably didn't. And I think that's an amazing way to answer comments. Like I always talk about with negative comments, for me, the most important thing, people ask me, how do I respond? What would you say to this? And what I always think is, well, I'm not sure what I would say, but what I am sure of is that once I respond to the comments or not, I'm going to forget about it super fast. Because I think that's where we lose. I don't like to think about things in win-lose, but I guess I do. Okay, whatever. The point is, why are you laughing? The point is, I'm trying to make a point. The point is, I can't remember the point. What was the point?
Win-lose.
Okay, the point is, I don't think it helps you to just remember the comments in your head. All right, so my best advice is just forget the comment as fast as possible. Respond if you want. Don't do it from a place of reaction. If those comments set you off, by the way, that's an opportunity to reflect inwards and to be like, why is it that I'm reacting so emotionally to these words on a screen that a random person wrote? That's an opportunity for you to dive into that and grow. Okay, but regardless, if you remember that and you keep playing it over and over and over in your head, or if you keep lolling it over in your head over and over and over again, well, that's not going to serve you. So don't do that. Don't do that. That's my best advice. So anyways, love Hudson. He's awesome. You should also follow Hudson. And yeah, let's move on to the next set of comments. Now, this was on the post about getting over social anxiety. Now, the reason I want to talk about this is because I was really excited to put this post out. Okay, like for me, as someone who has dealt with social anxiety, as someone who used to be extremely shy, getting over that and overcoming that, and still, finding tools to overcome that on a daily basis, that is one of the most important things that's happened to me that has allowed me to, even if you just look at my journey of activism, okay, the reason that I'm able to even make this video right now is because I went on this journey to overcome social anxiety. So what I talk about in this video is arguably some of the most impactful things that happened in my life. And, I'm super grateful, and I know it did help some people and everything. So, things are all black and white. Okay, so I know that it helped a lot of people. But one thing that I was a little bit disappointed. I was disappointed in you. And the reason is, I was looking at the top comments from that video, and they all talk about the same thing. And what they talk about is how the person who was filming me in that video, her camera is just so damn close to my face. And that's just what the top comments are. Let me read them to you. And by the way, if you wrote these comments, I love you. It's all in good fun and love. But let's still seriously have a conversation about this, right? So the comments are, dang, why is she so close? Damn, why your camera so close? Back TF up. I'm sorry, but her camera is in your face so far. Like, wow. All I could think about also is why the heck is she up in his face? And those are the top comments, okay? They have like 126 likes, 123 likes, 88 likes, 77 likes. I'm like, come on, like, I don't want, like, this is not about me. The main reason I'm upset about this, and I also want to talk about how this could affect me, but the point is, the main reason I'm upset about this is because it's for you. Okay, one thing I want to do always is I always want to empower my community. Okay, I always want the best for you, and I really, really do. And that's why I even want to talk about this, because I realize that this could create some friction. But the point is, if you're writing this type of comments, and if you saw that video, and the main thing that went through your mind, the best thing you could come up with afterwards is, man, why was the camera so close, and that bothered you? Then that shows me three things. That shows me that one, you are not taking your life seriously. Okay, two, it shows me that you're not taking into account how you can make me feel, and three, you're not taking into account how you can make that person feel in that video. Okay, it just seems like this emotional reaction in the moment. So let me give you some unsolicited advice here. Okay, I understand that this can be unsolicited, but let me give it to you anyways, because this is my channel. We're gonna do whatever I want to do on it. So, what do I mean by you're not taking your life seriously? You understand that this is a video that you could learn something from. For me, I always like to take any experience in my life and I try to think to myself, what can I learn from this? Because at the end of the day, when anything happens, there are only two ways that you can approach it, okay? And there are many ways that you could look at this. This is just one way of looking at it. But one way of looking at life is you're either going to learn from something or you're not. And being in the case that you're spending time actually doing something, consuming a video, that why not choose to focus on what you can learn from it? Okay, for me, even when I watch entertainment, well, I still try to learn from it. Like sometimes I watch a movie, or I don't really watch movies, but say I watch an episode from an anime. Okay, I love anime. Well, I'm gonna watch that episode, for that anime episode, and it is my leisure time, but I'm still, even in that moment, thinking, what can I learn from this? And I try to see, how are they telling a story? How can I use this type of storytelling in my content? I'm always thinking about stuff like that. Okay, it doesn't mean that you have to go with that extreme, but if you do want to just get the most out of life, then maybe that's something I advise. That's something that really helped me out. But the point is, I don't understand how you could watch that video and then the thing that you focus on is this minor little detail that doesn't matter, that bothers you. Like, why don't you focus on something that can actually help you, right? So that's the first thing. But the second thing is, I was thinking about this and I was like, like, especially seeing this and seeing that these are all the top comments, if this wasn't me, like, this could have really, not gone over well for the creator, right? And what I mean by that is that, for me, I'm very comfortable sharing things about, not my personal life, but I'm comfortable sharing things I've been through, my faults, my failures. Like, it doesn't really bother me. And I actually really like when other people do that. So I understand that it can be very empowering for people to share kind of their failures and, what they overcame and like things like that. So I don't mind doing that at all. But potentially, it can be very daunting and very scary for someone to share their journey of overcoming social anxiety. I mean, some people might not want to talk about that. And so imagine this wasn't me and someone, poured their heart out, was like, this is my story, overcoming social anxiety. I went through this is what helped me. And then the top comments on that post are not even talking about, they're just talking about this camera that's in this person's face. You're like, I poured my heart out here. Hello. Like I try to tell a personal story to help you. And these are the top comments on the post, right? So one thing that I believe we should always do in life, always, is think about how our actions affect others. That's why we're vegan. We're vegan because we think, how does my action of eating a burger not just affect me? It's not just about it makes me feel good. It's about, well, this has contributed to the suffering and death of a cow. And that was unnecessary, so I'm not going to contribute to that. Right? But we should always think about that. So when you're writing a comment like that, think, how could this affect, how is this going to make the person feel? Like as a creator, I spend the majority of my day and my life thinking about how can I create content? How can I bring more value to you? That's what I think about. That's what all creators think about, by the way. Not to make this too much about myself, but the point is all creators, we just think about this. We care about our communities and we do the best to deliver you value, and we really care and we're really passionate about this. And although one trait of a good creator is that we don't care about what anyone thinks, which is why we're able to become creators in the first place, at the same time, it is nice to get nice comments, and sometimes it kind of sucks if you get a response that that's just not what you want. Now, I'm not trying to play the victim here and be like, you should write nice comments. No, that's not at all what I'm saying. If you're critical of something I say, always let me know. I'm always receptive to that. I don't mind being wrong. I don't mind being called out. That's totally fine. In fact, there was a comment that I didn't pick up here, but someone said on one of my previous posts, hey, maybe you should call animals non-human animals and be specific about that, because the term animals can be perceived as speciesist. And you know what? I read that and I was like, that's a good point. So I'm okay with being called out. And if you don't like my content, you can let me know that. That's fine. But the reason I'm trying to talk about this is because I feel like one thing that's helpful, when you're writing comments, and I also try to do this, is you think about how is this going to affect the person who's actually making the content. If you like someone's content, right, I think that you should go out of your way to let them know that you like their content. So maybe do this today, not with me, but do it with another creator that you really like, someone whose content you admire. Just go on their page, go on their latest post, and leave a nice comment. Be like, you know what, I really appreciate you. Because you might think that we get these comments all the time, which we do, but it's always nice to hear them. And always help is always encouraging, and that's part of what keeps us going as creators. So that's the second thing. And the third thing is, when you say things like that, my friend, the person who's filming is my friend. Okay, so I personally know her, she's my friend. And when you say things like back TF up, that's not a very nice thing to say. Okay, for me, when I see that on my post, I'm like, you're saying that to my friend. Okay, this is my friend we're talking about, and that's not cool. You don't get to say this to my friends. It's not a nice thing to say. So just be nice. So if this whole thing resonated with you, maybe I pissed a lot of people off. I don't know how this is going to go over. But the point is, if you resonated with everything I just talked about, then one thing I would challenge you to do is, for the next lifetime, okay, I was going to say week, but let's say lifetime, when you comment on what other people do, write constructive comments, write something nice, write thank you, or write something that's going to help other people who might be reading the comments. That's the best. You're providing value. Instead of talking about some minor detail that might have bugged you, or just complain about something, because it just doesn't provide any value to anyone. You're just venting at that point. Okay, so just write something that provides value, it's going to help people, that's positive. Because you know what? There's so much negativity in the world already that I don't think we need more of that. I think we just need people to be more positive and nice and supportive, and let's create a great community. I love you. And this is one of the things I want to do too. I want to make sure that we have a healthy, amazing community, that we can all grow together and we can all defend animals together. That's what I want. So yeah, that being said, the last thing I will say is that I was not oblivious to those comments either. And I was like, okay, something to pay attention to. It's like those times when people talk about in my outreach videos that, it's hard to listen because there's a lot of background sound, okay? There's like music in the background, all that. I can't do anything about it, but I hear you, okay? I read those comments and I'm like, maybe I should think about another way to record outreach conversations in another setting so that I have better audio. It's something I'm thinking about because I'm always taking feedback as well. But yeah, I feel like I ranted enough about this whole situation. That was a lot of ranting. All right, moving on to the next comment. So the next comment is, again, from that post about rescuing animals, what to do if you find injured animals and you don't know what to do. The rest of those comments are heartwarming stories that I read in the comment sections. I'm very happy to have read those comments and they're amazing, so I want to share them with you in this video. So let's go. First comment is from Carol Siastras. Hope I pronounced that right, but amazing comments. I love this. I've been doing solo ad hoc rescue here in Bangkok for about 15 years, and it's the most rewarding thing I can imagine. I'm always amazed that more people aren't doing it. The logistics can be worked out, getting people to chip in for costs, finding means of transport and vet services. It's all well within our ability to make it happen. Thank you for encouraging people. I love this. This is amazing. This is what I talked about in the video about being resourceful. And yeah, if we are resourceful, and being resourceful is a commitment that you make, you just, shift your mindset. This is one of the things that massively helped me out in my life. When you have a problem, instead of thinking about the problem, you think about solutions, right? If you think about personal development teachers, people like Tony Robbins, he says the quality of your life is determined by the quality of questions that you ask yourself. Right? So instead of asking yourself, why is this situation like this? Ask yourself, how can I solve this situation? How can I help this animal? If you ask yourself these questions, then your brain is going to come up with answers. Right? You got to ask yourself the right questions first. But that's what being resourceful is. It's a mindset. It's a commitment that you make where you're like, you know what? I'm going to be resourceful, and that's the end of the story. And I love this because it's like, yeah, you can make things happen. You can make amazing things happen, especially when it comes to rescuing animals. You'll surprise yourself. I surprise myself every single time that I actually successfully help an animal. And it never gets old, and it's always about being resourceful. So thank you, Carol. Appreciate this comment. You're awesome. So next comment is by my friend Danielle, Vegan Danielle. She has an amazing podcast that I was on as well. So check out the episode that I was on, but also all the other episodes. She's awesome. I love her. And she says, I've ran out into the intersection to help baby ducklings cross the road. One got hit by a car. Thankfully, I made a big enough scene to stop the cars and help the others. Shit. Breaks my heart. Thankfully, I think the one that got hit was instantly dead, so I didn't have to try to help him. I felt terrible though. It's hard to know what to do. Well, I don't really know how to start this. Obviously, it's so terrible that that one got hit. But what really warms my heart about this comment is that, Danielle actually went out there and did something. And this is something I think we can learn about. Like I said in my video about the pigeon rescue, one thing that stopped me initially was, I wanted to go out in the streets on the road, but I was scared to stop the cars because my ego was in the way, right? And Danielle was just like, just got to do what you got to do. Some ducks are trying to cross the road here. Okay, in my worldview, animals always have priority. Okay, I'm in the city. Like if a pigeon is trying to walk somewhere, they get to go before I get to go. Okay, that's just how I think. And I think that's how it should be, although that's my opinion. But maybe you can adopt that. I think it's a beautiful way to see the world, to be like, what? Animals first. And if ducks are trying to cross the road, let's have them cross the road. Let's just help them do that because yes, the city is a dangerous place for lots of animals. So it's awesome that she did that. So that's gonna wrap it up for this first episode of reacting to your Instagram comments. Let me know if you enjoyed this video and if you want me to make more like this. I really enjoyed making this video, so I hope you enjoyed it as well. Hopefully you got some insight from this video as well. I always want to have a mix between entertainment and information in my videos, so I hope that I've been able to provide that. That's something I'm always working on, and yeah, I just hope this was valuable to you. So thank you so much for watching this video. You're awesome. I love you, and maybe leave a productive, positive comment down there if you're up for the challenge. I'm just kidding. If you want to, be awesome, but you don't have to. In any case, I'll see you next time. Again, you're amazing. Peace.